Miguel Mena, full play.
Joel Rosario, flat out.
Ramon Dominguez, alpha.
Brian Hernandez, Fort Larned.
Rafael Bejarano, Quemondú.
Junior Alvarado, brilliant speed.
Mario Gutierrez, Handsome Mike.
Martín Pedrosa, Nonios.
Garrett Gomez, Richard's Kid.
José Lescano, Ron de Creek.
Mike Smith, Mucho Macho Man.
John Velasquez, To Honor and Serve.
The Breeders' Cup Classic, one of the biggest moments of the season for the best jockeys.
It's a big event. It's just an honor for me to be right in there.
It's the best of the best, not only in the United States, but in the world.
I want to win. I want to win. I mean, this is where we come. This is what we live for.
And talk sweet talk. I got a knocking in my knees and a bubble in my walk, and I'm trembling.
Breeders' Cup Classic, $5 million at a mile and a quarter. Time now for Equibase Post Parade. Number one is Pool Play, who missed 13 months with a tendon issue, but has been nursed back to top form by Mark Cassie. His last race, a half-length win in the mile and a quarter Hawthorne Gold Cup. Number two is Flat Out, one of the 3 Bill Mott trained horses, and for the second straight year, this horse comes off a win in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Last year he was 5th in the Classic as a favorite. He's battled hoof problems his entire career. Number 3 Alpha, the 3-year-old colt who was 12th in the Kentucky Derby. Then in the summer won the Jim Dandy and dead heated for the win in the Travers, both at Saratoga. But he flopped in his most recent start, the Pennsylvania Derby, where he was 6th as the 3-5 favorite. Number 4 is Fort Larned, named for the Western Kansas post that protected traders on the Santa Fe Trail in the 1860s. Winner of the Cornhusker at Prairie Meadows, then the Whitney at Saratoga, before running 3rd in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. 27th birthday for jockey Brian Hernandez. Game On Dude is the 5, beaten a length and a half by Drosselmeyer last year's Classic. He's won 4 of 6 in 2012. Rafael Bejarano replaces Chantel Sutherland. Replaced him for the last race, actually. That was a win, and they awesome again here at Santa Anita. He's earned $3 million. Number 6, Brilliant Speed, his final race before retirement. His last 9 races have been on the grass. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Turf last year. Number 7, Handsome Mike. This is the I'll Have Another team that won 2/3 of the Triple Crown earlier this year. The only win this year for Handsome Mike, his last start, the Pennsylvania Derby, at 19-1. 8 is Nonios, another 3-year-old colt who was 2nd to Game On Dude in his last race, trained by Northern California-based Hall of Famer Jerry Hollendorfer. Number 9, Richard's Kid, has earned over $2 million, and after a private sale, made a controversial move from Bob Baffert to Doug O'Neill. He's been 3rd in his last 2 races. Number 10, Ron the Greek, trained by Bill Mott to win the Stephen Foster in June, then 2nd in the Whitney and a dull 6th in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Back in March, he won the Santa Anita Handicap at this same distance. Number 11, Mucho Macho Man, the huge horse trained by heart transplant recipient Kathy Ritvo, ridden by Mike Smith. 3rd in last year's Kentucky Derby. He's had success as a 4-year-old, winning the Gulfstream Park and Suburban Handicaps, then beaten the neck in the Woodward. And number 12, To Honor and Serve, is the winner of that Woodward for Bill Mott and John Velasquez, owned by the Live Oak Plantation of Charlotte Weber, the heir to the Campbell Soup fortune. To Honor and Serve, 7th in last year's Classic. And that's your field of 12 for the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic, with Game On Dude, the 7-5 favorite, Mucho Macho Man at 5-1, and Flat Out is the 3rd choice. He is at 6-1. All through the last 2 days, the greatest thoroughbreds in the world have put forth a display unlike any other in the sport.
The oldest winner ever. Here is a champion again, Royal Delta.
Now comes the Classic finale at Santa Anita, dangling the biggest Breeders' Cup purse of them all. Will Game On Dude grab it for Bob Baffert after the trainer's trying 2012? Or is this Mucho Macho Man's moment to deliver the biggest victory of Kathy Ritvo's career? For Doug O'Neill, a year of exaltation and exasperation comes down to the talents of 2 horses.
while Bill Mott starts a trio who will chase victory around the track. The Breeders' Cup Classic is moments away.
And the Classic is moments away. Game On Dude, who was second in the Classic last year at 14-1, is now the 7-5 favorite, putting his unbeaten Santa Anita record on the line. Mucho Macho Man 5-1. Flat Out is 6-1 and the third choice. Loading into the starting gate. Game On Dude goes in. He's the 7-5 favorite for Baffert. The $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic at 1.25 miles for the call. Let's go to Larry Colmus.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. We've got 11 of them in line to honor and serve. We'll take the outside stall and we'll complete this field of 12 in America's richest horse race. To honor and serve goes in. They're all in line. We are ready for the start. Standing well. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Not the best of starts for Game On Dude. In fact, he's just in mid-pack early. Alpha bounds out of there fast. Fort Larned on the outside is out with speed, and Game On Dude's going to have to settle behind them with Handsome Mike, Mucho Macho Man going up on the outside. Then To Honor and Serve and Nonios. Brilliant Speed is in behind them. Then Flat Out along the rail. Ron the Greek, Pool Play, and Richard's Kid is the trailer as the field makes their way toward that first turn. The opening quarter mile was in 23 1/5 seconds. Fort Larned is on the pace here. Mucho Macho Man is alongside in second. To Honor and Serve is third. Behind them comes Handsome Mike. Alpha has the rail. And Game On Dude, who we thought might be in front, is not. He is back there in sixth, and he's 4 lengths off the lead. Then Brilliant Speed. On the outside is Nonios. 2.5 more back to Flat Out. Ron the Greek, a late runner here, is 12 lengths off the lead, ahead of Pool Play and the laid back Richard's Kid. 46 2 for a half mile. A sensible pace. They're not flying, but they're moving right along. Fort Larned continues to lead the way, and now he's by himself. He's got a 2-length advantage on Mucho Macho Man as the field heads for the far turn. They went 3/4 in 1:10 flat, so the pace continues to be solid. And Game On Dude begins to move now on the outside. He's third, and he's 3 lengths off the lead with Fort Larned and Mucho Macho Man to catch. Handsome Mike has come under a ride, and then comes Nonios. Flat Out is in the midst of his rally. He's 8 lengths off the lead as they come to the top of the stretch. It is Fort Larned and Mucho Macho Man, and they are now well clear of their competition. Fort Larned comes into the stretch in front. Mucho Macho Man runs at him with 1 furlong to run. They've left Flat Out behind. Fort Larned digs in. Mucho Macho Man runs at him. Fort Larned, Mucho Macho Man. Fort Larned with the heart of a champion. Mucho Macho Man was second, a very gallant second indeed. Then came Flat Out, followed by Ron the Greek.
What about that happy birthday, Brian Hernandez? What about a $5 million birthday present as he wins the Breeders' Cup Classic?
What about a great ride? Took him gate to wire, and you heard Game On Dude did not break that sharp lead. Fort Larned was directed out by Brian Hernandez. Immediately after, he got him out in front and never looked back.
You just saw the winning connections in the box, accepting congratulations, including trainer Ian Wilkes, who spent so many of his early years in America under the tutelage of one Carl Navsger, the trainer of 1990 Kentucky Derby winner Unbridled. There is Ian right there. He went on his own about a half dozen or so years ago, and now he has won America's richest race.
And we see Donna closing in on Brian Hernandez, Fort Larned, Mucho Macho Man, Flat Out, and Ron the Greek, unofficial top 4 in the Classic. Donna?
Brian, happy birthday. Can we imagine that if you could have asked for anything in the world for your birthday, this might be it?
Fort Larned just gave us the greatest birthday gift anything could ever happen. This is huge. He ran such a big race. He's one of the best, and he showed it today.
It's your first Breeders' Cup win. What's this mean to you?
This is huge, just for Mrs. Whittam and Ian to give us the chance on this horse and sticking with us throughout the whole year. And they've always had confidence in us, and just like we've had confidence in the horse, and I just got to thank them to the world and back for giving me this chance.
Brian, you were on him for his last 3 races, including a defeat last time out. Did you see this kind of race coming from him?
Yeah, Ian did, because after the Jockey Club, he ran a big race in there, and Ian came back, he said, don't worry about it. We're going to get our ultimate goal at the end of the year, and when him and Carl Nasker both tell you that you're going to have a good one, they know when it's time to win.
Speaking of Ian, it's your first Breeders' Cup win, and also his first, and like you said, he's been so faithful and loyal to you. How's it feel to get this win for him?
It's great. They've been so great to us over the years, and they're sticking by us, and it's great to win for people like them, and especially for the Whittams. They've been so good for the game, and they keep just putting out good horses and giving us the chances. Thank them most of all.
$270,000 to the winning jockey. Have you thought about how you might spend this, maybe on a little birthday present?
That sounds good. No, we didn't really think about the money. We were just, the prestige of winning this race in front of the world is unbelievable.
Well done. Nice showing today. Congratulations. Let's go to Kenny Rice.
All right, thanks, Donna. Ian, congratulations. A huge victory. Your thoughts as they were turning for home and Mucho Macho Man's coming on?
Ride like hell, Brian. Looking for the white and, let's give Mucho Macho Man, credit. He ran an unbelievable race, and Brian rode a really good race today, coming out of the gates. He got him out of the gates good. That was important. If we missed a break, we're done,
You win big in the summer, everybody's screaming you could be the horse, and then you don't win, and maybe you're not going to be the horse. What's this all been like the last couple of months to show that you do have one of the best horses?
Well, he's run great all year, except for the Stephen Foster, and we had an excuse that day, but didn't. The Whitney was an unbelievable race, and I had to back off of him, and I'm not taking anything away. I got beat at Belmont, but I was coming here to be ready.
What made you feel that you could come in here and beat Game On Dude, among others, especially Game On Dude on his home court?
I had the right horse.
How does this rank among your many victories?
Oh, it's the ultimate, at the moment. It's the ultimate.
Ian, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
I have Mike Smith and Kathy Ritvo, very emotional. The comeback, Kathy, and how do you thought that horse ran his eyeballs out? What do you think?
He did. He ran really, really, really hard.
I know you're so proud. You tears in your eyes. And Mike, just tell us about this tough second place win.
Well, he ran tremendous and getting beat. He won a winning race, didn't he? I mean, he really did. Kathy had him perfect. He ran dynamite. Our hats off to the winner. He ran a great game race, and he fought me off at the end. But there's a lot more dances that we're going to dance in, and you're going to see this horse win some really big races.
They are thrilled to run second, Tom Heyman.
And a gallant second it was. And what about Fort Larned? Ian Wilkes, the trainer, his first Breeders' Cup win on his 3rd try. And for Brian Hernandez, first time on your birthday was the charm as he wins the Breeders' Cup Classic. Of course, Game On Dude, we heard Bob Baffert say the start was crucial, and the start didn't happen for him.
No, it didn't. He actually looked like he broke all right, but he just sort of stutter stepped right there. And you saw Fort Larned just to his inside outbreak him. And that's where I'm talking about. Brian Hernandez steering out, and all of a sudden Rafael Bejarano finds himself in a position he does not want to be in. He starts looking out right here to try and get out of this pocket, which eventually he finally does get him out of there, but he's further back than he has been. As we turn for home, in the meantime, Mucho Macho Man had come up in striking distance, and I thought that he was actually going to run by Fort Larned. Well, that wasn't to be done today. Ian Wilkes had him ready, prepared today. Mucho Macho Man was prepared, and they just draw away from the field here, Randy.
And Brian Hernandez mentioned loyalty. If you asked horse racing fans, dedicated horse racing fans, name the top 30 jockeys in America, you wouldn't get a Brian Hernandez Jr. vote from any of them.
Well,
but yet, when he lost his last race, whereas a lot of trainers would have replaced the jockey with a big-name rider for the Breeders' Cup Classic, Ian Wilkes showed loyalty to his man, and it paid off.
And this kid, he can ride. I've watched him, and he's one of the most underrated riders in the United States. He can get the job done, doesn't get a lot of opportunities in big races, but he got the chance of a lifetime today, and he showed up.
Here's Ian Wilkes as they came down the stretch. He worked almost as hard as Brian Hernandez did. Let's go to Kenny Rice with Bob Baffert, who fails once again to notch a Classic winner.
All right, thank you, Tom. Bob, we talked just before the race. You kind of summed it up. You talked about the importance of the start. What happened at the start?
Well, he broke about a half a step slow, but he was right there. But, Bejarano, he decided to, grab him a little bit when he saw the forward go. And so, I told him, I said, this horse, his only weapon is his speed. And if those horses come across, you have no chance at all. And once it was over here at the 8th pole first time around. So after that, dude, he just, had probably the worst race of his life.
It's been a good run so far. Thanks for staying around, Bob.
Well, I was hoping the winner's a good horse, and they ran great, but the dude just didn't. After that, he just didn't show.
All right, thank you very much, Bob Baffert. Let's go back to Tom.
All right, Kenny is the winner, Fort Larned, who is a 4-year-old colt by E. Dubai, bred and owned by Janice R. Whittam. She bred him in Kentucky. She owns him. She collects the winner's share of the $5 million purse, thanks to Brian Hernandez.